Yo, what's up? This is Logic here with Nick Huff. Barilli? It's Barilli, right?
It is.
Of Hard Knock TV. And you're watching Hard Knock TV.
Ordinary Day.
Yeah.
I love that within the context of the album, it's such a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
agree.
And One Day too. Like I think when you hear One Day and Ordinary Day within the context of the album, it's like
It makes a lot of sense.
it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but that's what's so funny about, like, you know, people and singles, and you don't really know how things are going to mesh. I remember, you know, some people were like, oh, like me personally, I think One Day is the epitome of a Young Sinatra song.
Right.
Uplifting, powerful, awesome, you know, just good vibe, literally. Rapping on the verses, and
Yep.
yeah, it feels really good. But I think people really realize that from the transition from the Glorious Five, you know, and maybe I'm going to make it one day, boom, and maybe one day, which was all a part of this bigger vision than they could see. Shout out Haley Steinfeld, who killed it. She's an incredible singer, amazing vocalist, and, you know, an awesome actress as well. And we became friendly just through like VMAs and meeting each other here and there and things like that. And she's super sweet, really kind, very nice. And she killed it. But you could have some people seeing me on a song with such a big pop star that they could be like, oh, what is this? Or it was radio shit or blah, 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 whatever. But when you listen to it, especially with like the hey, ah kind of drums and
Right.
the fact I come in like Andre, all right, all right, all right. And also what I'm talking about the bullshit of the industry.
Right.
And it's funny how this all came to be. It was just after The Incredible True Story came out 3 years ago, back in 2015. I was just chilling, ordinary day, doing my thing.
Just like today.
Just like today. And then at like 7 o'clock, my friend Will Poulter was like, yo, do you want to come to this premiere of The Revenant? Because he was in The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy. And I was like, not really, because I'm just not the type to do stuff like that. Well, I am now. I wasn't then. I'll enjoy myself now because I was just so work. I was like, you know what? You know, it's my boy Will. This is such a big deal for him as an actor. I gotta support him and show up. So I went down to the Chinese theater and watched the film. It was really fun. And then he was like, oh, come to this after party. And I was like, nah, I'm straight. And he's like, no, come on. He's like, come on, mate, you gotta come. Like, it's really good. And I was like, all right, fuck it. So I go. And everybody's there. Leo's there and Tom Hardy, and they're just right there. Like, you could say what's up. You could talk to them, no problem. I didn't. I just like to give people their space. And I wrote about all this shit that I saw, this like Hollywood shit, like not necessarily with him, but just all these different people who were only into certain people if they were celebrities or who they thought, or I would be sitting there just having a regular conversation. Like, they'll be like, oh, like, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm Bobby and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, I work in this and I do this and I do that. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's tight. And they're like, me, I this, I that. And we're talking. There's like a circle of people, I. And I'm just like listening. And then somebody comes up like, oh, my God. And they come up to me, want to take a picture. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? And then suddenly everybody in the circle is like, oh, what do you do? What do you this? Da, da, da. And I'm like, man, fuck you guys. So it's about these fakes, these phonies. That's why I love one of the lyrics is something made up, girl, I can see through your makeup. Like, I can see past you into who you actually are and what you're trying to cover up in this like synthetic, fake plastic trees Radiohead of a fucking world. And yeah, but I do it in such a super fun tone that it ain't really that deep. And yeah, and then Haley comes in just for like a super, I think it's great. Makes it even lighter to have a beautiful female voice like that on there. And then ends the song, and it's just as quick as it starts, as quickly as it ends. It's very to the point and abrupt.
Do you feel like now you're at a point where, you know, the meme is famous, you know, I don't fuck with nobody, I don't leave the house, I don't.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel a little bit more comfortable in stepping out, or is it still kind of like?
I still don't fuck with nobody. It's the truth. I think I was very scared to put myself out there, you know, because I was like scared of rejection of others. So like, I don't fuck with nobody that I don't know. My circle is very small. Why? Why be friends with somebody in this industry that I don't know? What for? Unless we really connect on something. Like, unless you really like the other day I was at Ellen with Kobe and I was hanging with him and Kobe like loves Harry Potter and shit. I find myself, you know, like attracted to that. Like, that's cool. Like meeting Kobe, and it wasn't about like rap shit or basketball and this or wealth and money. It was just like, yo, this dude likes Harry Potter. Me too. That's so cool. Like, I would happily hang out with Kobe Bryant and talk and discuss Harry Potter and like all this really fun shit, as opposed to, I don't know, somebody that I could have always wanted to meet or work with in hip hop, but if they're like not really a cool person, or I'm like, actually, I don't really like this vibe, I'm not just gonna stay with them and be around them for clout. Right. To me, that's like stupid, and people do that all the time. And we can talk about that off camera.
Right. You went up to talk to Kobe because your bodyguards are huge fans, right? So is that kind of like what spawned you? Would you have gone to talk to Kobe?
Nah, personally, Kobe is like, that is so dope and he's great, but I don't know shit about sports.
Right.
So Kobe to me is just like a famous person.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's just like a super famous person.
Yeah.
But like, I meet famous people all the time, so
Right.
it's not really it's not like a thing. But like, for example, Kevin Durant, like, that's my dog. Like, I fuck with Kevin Durant, and I didn't even really realize, like, I didn't understand, you know?
Right.
And then my friends are like, nah, you know, you're an idiot. Like, check it out. This is a big deal. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But that's what I love. I love, you know, shit that's genuine. So, yeah, Ordinary Day transitioning into Young Sinatra 4 to me is, like, my favorite because it's one of the illest transitions to me on the whole album, and how it goes from, like, this super kind of pop song
Right.
to the most raw song. But it feels right. It doesn't feel like it doesn't belong. I really love, because technically it shouldn't belong because of what people say can or can't be. But I think when you just focus on good sonics and good music, it meshes, it blends together.
Young Sinatra 4, probably my favorite track on the album. I mean, I have a lot.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
It takes me back to an era where like hip hop was a golden era for me. High school, like just being into the culture.
Yeah.
Another thing that's really important about this song, you started off showing love to Mac.
Yeah.
What did Mac and his movement mean to you when you started the Young Sinatra series?
Yeah, man. Well, it definitely inspired me because he had like, you know, Most Dope and Fun is for Everyone, which is his online vlogs, which inspired me to do that. And it's just him and his boys. And like, it was really, really special. And he rapped on Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza, which was hip to the game, instrumental by Lord Finesse.
Yep.
And I thought that Matt killed it so hard. I was like, man, I want to do this. And I rapped over it, and it ended up being the first Young Sinatra 1 song on my first mixtape, Young, Broken, Infamous, which if I had never done, and if Mac had never did, and I wasn't inspired by that, we wouldn't have the Young Sinatra series.
That's crazy.
It's very crazy. And yeah, man. So rest in peace to Mac, and thanks for all the love and inspiration. I appreciate it. And he was really nice too. I met him once at South by Southwest in 2010, and it's also where I met Kendrick Lamar for the first time. But like,
same showcase or just at South by?
Same South by, but different showcases, different things. And I'm sure Kendrick has no idea, and I'm sure Mac, you know, did not remember that at all, because I wasn't Logic. I was just some dude who was like, I'm a big fan of your music, you know, that's it. You guys are really great. I was down there doing different showcases and shit. And yeah, but anytime me and Mac texted each other or DM'd each other, like, he was just always really cool. I would just check in and say hey, and, you know, say have a good day. That's a big thing I do a lot when I talk to, I text people often, and I just text them to be like, hey, how are you? Or I hope you have a good day, or this or that. Like Pusha, I texted Pusha, and I'm not going to say exactly what he was doing, but it was a very, very private, personal thing. He was on a bit of a vacation, and he like texted me back. And I was just like, hey, man, have a good day. And he was like, hey, I'm doing this thing. And I was like, damn, I appreciate you even taking the time to hit me back. So like, whenever I hit anybody, it's never for anything. It's literally always, because every time anybody hits me up, it's always for something.
Right.
And, you know, even if somebody like really appreciates me or fucks with me, but like they think of something and then they want to use me for something, because even if it's mutual, but it's like, man, every time you hit me up, it's to ask me for some shit. Right. That's like fucked up, you know? But yeah, anyway, Max the bomb. I don't know how we got into all that.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because I remember a long time ago, we were talking about, and it was, you know, you weren't trying to like meet too many people or fuck people, but I remember I was trying to get you to go to Mac's compound to just like bond with him, like maybe work on some music. But I know at the time you were just kind of like, I don't know, like going into other environments, like
that's also a big thing of like meeting the people that you love and appreciate. But it was before I had eventually reached out to him. Yep. But it's like in fear of being rejected, or them being a fucking asshole, you know, which has also happened. You meet somebody that you love and you're not status quo enough or on a certain level, and they treat you like shit, and then, you know, you get a couple of hit records and sell a few million albums, and then you meet them again, they have no idea they met you, and then they treat you great.
Right.
Fuck that, you know.
Right.
But that's why, once again, it's like, I don't fuck with nobody, and I just like to keep to myself and just be, all this rap shit, all this Hollywood shit, it's whack. It's whack. But at the same time, you don't see me being like, oh, this Hollywood shit's like whack all the time in my music and shit. I just let it be.
Right.
But the truth is, you know, there's people who really, you got 16-year-old girls injecting lip fillers in their lips and shit out here and wild stuff. And it's the same shit with me. Like, I don't know, have we talked about like my hair and shit? Like, you know, my hair was getting thin. I was going bald. People making fun of me for it, all types of shit. And it was really hard because I'm like, damn, I'm a pretty young guy in his 20s. And the thing about me was like, it made me feel like I was old. But it's not that I was old or am old or not or this or that. It's just I'm not a kid anymore. It's a big difference. And so once I like was confident with it, I was like, man, you know, it really doesn't matter. Like, I buzzed my head. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to just rock it. Bruce Willis, it is what it is.
Right.
But before I did that, I was contemplating getting hair transplants.
Yep.
Because, you know, people were just making fun of me and this and that, and my hairline and all online and all this and all that. And this will probably be in some fucking thing where it's like, Logic was going to get hair transplants, blah, 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 blah. But they're not actually, don't even give a fuck about me, and they're trying to make it a headline. But the truth is because I was happy. I was okay with it. I had realized, like, you know what, it's okay. This is what it is. But somehow still found myself in a doctor's office about to pay over $100,000 for the best hair transplants in the world from the back of my head. And I was like, man, I was really about to go through with it. And I was like, why? Why am I about to slice open and cut myself open? And then I'm like, oh, it's not for me. It's not to look this way or that way. It is for other people. I'm trying to do this because I want to fit in, or I want to look more normal or more younger or more handsome, or what the definition of handsome is, or beauty to this and that and all this other shit. And it's like, I couldn't believe what I was about to do, cut my body open. Now, you know, I personally think that if that's what you want to do, you should totally do it. Like, if it was a me thing, like if I was like, yo, I want that. I want that. And yeah, it's like if I could snap my fingers and fucking have, you know, thick ass hair, like, sure, who would? Like, what? You know what I mean? But still, that also comes down to just wanting to blend in and what the media and certain people find like attractive or not, or this or that. I don't even know how we got on this subject. Oh no, just society and Hollywood and fitting in.
Right.
And like, you know, it's funny because, you know, me embracing my shit, like, and buzzing my head, then you have people even making fun even more,
right,
and clowning even more and creating memes or this or that or whatever the case may be, because, you know, it's funny. And I guess so, but it's like, it can be hurtful, you know what I mean? But, you know, and even now, like, growing my hair, and then people are probably like, damn, now he's growing his hair, now he's not. Why the fuck does it matter? Like, when did hip-hop become this, like, fucking TMZ headline? Like, every little thing that somebody does, like, it's this huge deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always wanted to dye my hair. I'm probably going to dye my hair for fun. And the thing is, if I dyed it or bleached it or dyed it fucking hot pink or blue or whatever, just for fun, because I'm a human being and it'll just be fun to do, and then it will grow and I will cut it. But it'd be like, oh, Logic's having a fucking mental breakdown because his hair's blue.
Right.
Or so-and-so does this or that or whoever or whatever. It's just kind of, to me, it's very fucked up that our society really pushes, like, altering ourselves to fit in with the rest of everybody else.
You got a line, you poke fun, you're like, my receding headline, my something.
Oh yeah, iconic. Everybody talking about my race on socials make the boy want to go postal. Not a lot of shit you can say about me. Yeah, my hairline fading, but my bank account will roast you. It's funny, like.
Love that line.
Yeah, but you got to be honest with yourself. Like, it is funny, but there's a difference between, like, funny and poking fun and jokes and then, like, extreme degradation.
Right.
Like, and that's like 90% of any comment regarding someone's looks or this or that in a negative way is extreme degradation. I don't know. There's, like, jokes. Like, you could joke about. I joke about shit all the time. Like, I did a post on my Instagram and I was like, take it back. Ghost written by my hairline. Like, that's funny. That's like a funny thing. But that was also internal struggle and battling and wanting to be like, yo, I'm okay with this. I'm a grown man. I'm a normal man. I'm experiencing these things. But, yo, try to experience that with, 20 million people under a magnifying glass. Anyway, Young Sinatra. Young Sinatra 4.
Said I'd never make it, but I just sold out the Garden.
Yeah.
What was that moment like?
That was really great. Yeah, haters on the internet ain't got nothing to bargain. Said I'd never make it. Bitch, I just sold out the Garden. That's like, I mean, there it is. It says it all. So many people who's like, you're not good enough, you're not this enough, you're not that enough, you're not whatever enough, your skin ain't dark enough, you're too blah, 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 da, da, da. You'll never do it. You'll never have fans. You'll never have this. And then to be able to do that, it's really dope. It's funny because I've seen, just certain shit like he'll never sell X amount of copies and then I do it. And then it's like, all right, well, he'll never, sell over 100,000, then I do it. He'll never go gold, then I do it. He'll never go platinum, no, and I do it. And he's like, yeah, well, so-and-so is 5 times platinum. It's like, well, all right, well, now I'm 5 times platinum. He's like, yeah, well, you never do arenas, though, and you do it. But it's like, there's a fuel and a fire there, but it's a fuel and a fire that I've let go because I'm tired of allowing my accomplishments be I told you so's. And my accomplishments are just accomplishments, man. Realizing that in a way, the doubt and negativity I received from others was a fire underneath me to achieve my goals. But what really allowed me to achieve my goals was the voice in my head that says, yes, you can. And that's now the only voice I focus on.
And that's the voice you're providing to your fans, right?
I'm trying. I mean, that's what all my music is about, essentially, right? There's always the undertone of you can make it, you can do it if you pursue, if you love it, if just do it. You can do it, because there isn't a lot of you can do it in mainstream media, music, this, that. Like there isn't a lot of that. It's a lot of like, check me out, look what I'm doing, let's hang out, let's party, let's this, let's that, which is totally cool. It's dope. I do that shit. That's what Bobby Tarantino is. But Bobby Tarantino is still, bitch, I've been going like an Energizer. Yeah, I'm supplying the wood like Elijah. Talking about like fucking girls and stuff. But then I'm like, I done made $20 million. I don't, to be acknowledged. Like I don't post that. I don't flex. I don't this. I'm saving my money so my kids could go to college. So on this same flex song, you still have such a positive message. Right. Which is dope. That's what I like.
Another line you have on here is who make 50 mil and still rapping over breakbeats.
Yeah, that's just a fun braggadocious line, which stems from, I think, the systemic braggadocio that has been instilled in me through hip hop. Like, I remember having conversations with you about like Big L and all these just incredible artists, and how there is that need to flex or talk about this or money or this or that. And it's like me, I'm even talking about money in a way where I'm like, yo, it's unimportant, but I do it in a way to flex where I'm like, yeah, I made 30 million last year, I'm worth X amount this year, I'm this and that and da-da-da. But fuck money. What is money if you're not fulfilled inside? What is this? What is that? To me, the real hook and sinker there is I'm using that in a way because I know it sounds good. Because we're used to money, bitches, this, that. So I'm like, all right, let me use all those same keywords and same things, except like basically, drawing you in, pills in the applesauce, to then talk about something real. Like Killing Spree, it's a prime example. Ass, titties, pussy, money, weed. Like, people love that song, dog, and they love it because it's like, it gets in there and it sounds like everything else. Ass, titties, pussy, money, weed. And then you're talking about some real shit on the record. That's why I got a song called Cocaine that's not out, and that shit is dope. And I can't wait till people hear that. That's a crazy one. With this song, I did the first verse, and then I wrote part of the second verse, and then I was like, I don't want to do a third verse, but I still want there to be like a switch up. So when it switches up, and then I start rapping from the perspective of money, which I love, because this is probably the most storytelling I've done since Under Pressure, I think. Right. All these other songs, just been songs or concepts here and there, overall arc, but not. I've left a story to like the conceptual side of shit, but like I haven't really told stories. I tell a lot of stories on this album, and so I was in the studio with DJ Premier in New York, and it was snowing. I forgot that it was snowing like crazy, and I went there, and it was the first time we had met in person to work together, and he made this really fire ass fucking beat. And I wrote this joint called The Riddle over it. And that's why when I switch it up, I'm like, Now peep the riddle. I was born in mint condition. I'm everybody's life mission. All right, listen, put me around your neck and I might glisten. The ultimate connect. I get you anything you need from whatever the fuck. So it's like, I loved writing that, but that should just go to show you right there. Like, I would rather have DJ Premier's friendship as a brother than just rap on a beat and be like, oh yeah, I got DJ Premier beat. So it's like, I had a fire ass beat, but I didn't use it because it just wasn't right. And it's not to say that his beat wasn't right. That's not it at all. It has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with me selfishly as a musician and an artist. And I was like, you know what? He inspired me to write this, but it's going to live over here. And that's when the beat switches up and 6 changed the beat. And it feels right. It feels good. Flows dope. And the shit that Primo gave me was really ill. But this just fit into something greater. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. And it just fuels me to go, man, I can't wait to now get 3-4 joints with Premier, you know, and put those out. So that was really cool. And then shouting out Mac at the end. That was a tough one. That was hard because, like, I already had the song. And I was like, you know what? I want to show him love, and what better track to do it on than the one that he inspired and to educate. I've got songs ready to go, or Are You Ready, and different songs on other mixtapes that are totally inspired by Mac Miller. People act like inspiration is this horrible, terrible thing, but I love it, and that's who I am at this point. And it's almost like if you're still complaining about that with Logic in 2018, it's like, what the fuck are you complaining about, you know? Right. I think homage, love, respect, and a credit to where it all is from is the most important thing. And originality of yourself, of telling your own story, right. Your own lyrics, your own this, your own that, yeah.
It's crazy because when you do that, I think about Jay-Z a lot.
Oh, huge.
I go through Jay's catalog. It's like, yo,
Biggie
he references
lyrics,
Biggie,
so many people.
Slick Rick,
yeah.
Nas, like all this different stuff. Yeah. But the way Jay's always done it has been within a context of the song where
it's like you know who he's talking about.
Right.
It's not like he's
it's like he's tipping his hat to like, yo, if you know the culture, you know the things I'm referencing to, which you're doing now, which is, you know, if you know J. Cole mixtape, if you know
exactly.
Mac this, if you know that, you're like, oh, this puts me back to when I was listening to the warm-up. Oh, shit, like 100%. Logic was inspired by that too.
Yeah, that's why I love to shout out and be inspired by the contemporary artists and my peers as well. Like Travis, Wizard of Oz on Bobby Tarantino 2 is like literally the infliction, that everything is that kind of infliction that Travis created through autotune. But then who was really killing autotune before Travis? Future. But who was really killing autotune before Future? T-Pain. But who was really killing shit before T-Pain? Cher. Do you believe in love after love? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real here. Let's talk about this shit. And so that's why when I see Travis at an award show, like, he shows me love and daps me up because it is love. You know what I'm saying? And there's such a respect for one another and just all these people out here, man. It's love and respect. And it's very important, and I think that's what a lot of this album is like, if you listen to it, so much of it is like early 2000s and 90s and this and that. But once again, we're at a place where you gotta like, well, if it came out last year, if it came out 2 years ago or 5 years ago, it's like, what? Like, I think this is dope, and I show love and thank the people in person, and ain't nobody yet has come up and been like, yo, why were you inspired by my shit and fucking used this and then gave me credit for it? Why? You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. Shout
out Mac Miller, man. Yeah. I love that you end the track with that, because it's been so much on my mind since it happened that it was hearing you talk about it on your project.
That's why I love saying, and thank you, we just some motherfucking kids. And not only as a nod to kids, but like, think about it, man. We're all just big ass kids. Like, we don't know. We act like we know. We think we know everything as we get older and this and that, man. We don't know shit. We don't know nothing. You know what I mean? And so, like, in the grand scheme of life and all this, like, we think we know everything, but we don't. We don't know everything. We know a lot. I think about a lot, but it's just like, man, we're just some kids. Like, look, Mac he was just a kid. Like, he was just a human being, a young man with addiction issues, substance issues, because of other shit deep down, you know. And the main thing I think is fame. I think that's the number one thing, man. I think, who knows, you can't say what, where, if, how, what would have happened if he had never got famous, or if he this or that. I mean, there's drug addicts who aren't famous and OD every day and this and that, but like, fame is very hard, and it's a lot of things that people don't want to discuss because then they feel that they'll look weak. I called Cole the other day for some advice on this shit. Like, how do how do you deal with this, or what about that, or blah blah blah. And he gave me some really good personal advice that's just gonna stay between me and him, because it's hard being in the public eye, and every little teeny tiny thing you do is scrutinized, and people will never understand that, and it can make it seem like, oh, being famous is so, but it's like, yo, it's not about being famous, it's about being under a magnifying glass. So imagine if you were just a regular person and you just happen to document your life, and then there's 20 million people a day viewing everything you do with their own opinions, their own comments, their own this, a majority of them negative, because that's the cesspool of bullshit we are surrounded by in social media today.
I don't even feel like most of them are negative. I feel like the negatives are the ones that stand out in our heads, but it could be like 100 comments that are amazing, or 1,000 comments, or 10,000 comments that are amazing, but it's those 5,
the negative ones
10,
are the loudest.
It's 100%.
They're the loudest, and they're magnified the most. If somebody makes a joke about me, people laugh at it, but they don't realize how much that shit could legitimately hurt my feelings. And the funny thing is, like, I've seen things where people make fun of, the personal things I've been through, loss, this, that, whatever the case may be, really making fun of me. And I'm like, yo, that shit really hurts, man. Like that, like, God damn, like, fuck. And it makes me think. And I'm like, I'm not going through forums. I'm not going through my Instagram. I'm not going through that shit. So the fact that, like, I could just, like, oh, I wonder what's going on, I'm gonna see, and I'm tagged in a photo, and it's a fan page that's really just a page dedicated to making fun of me. But, like, and I'm just like, damn, this is just the shit I'm seeing. Can you imagine all the other shit people are saying that I'm not seeing? And then that's the stuff that makes you overthink and go, well, shit, what are people thinking of me, and this and that and da da da. But the truth is, it's like, who cares what other people think of you? And it's easy to say that, but then you have to really, you have to go discuss it, and that's something that I talked to Cole about, that every artist out there deals with. We all deal with this shit. All of us are touchable because of social media, and it can really affect us, and it can hurt us if we don't free our minds. And that's what I've been doing, and I'm very happy. It's very sad because this is the first release of an album that I wasn't a part of. I've always been on social media, see what people say, see what people see, because it's exciting. But now I'm just at a level where I'm so famous, like, just truth straight up, that, like, everybody got some shit to say, and it's like, but why am I validating their opinions? If somebody goes, yo, this fucking album is amazing, which millions of people have been saying, why should I be like, yeah, it is amazing, huh? Like, I shouldn't allow somebody else's perspective of what is good or not good in my catalog, and I'm the motherfucker who creates it. I shouldn't allow people to tell me what I was or was not trying to get across in a song when I'm the motherfucker who creates it. So I've learned to just let go. Still playing a part in social media by being able to post and give things to my fans, because I do. But now I'm just at a point where if you really want something from me, it's just the music, as it should be.
I'm glad you brought up Cole and artists supporting each other, because after Mac passed away, he posted something. He was like, look, if you're going through anything,
you could call me.
And you can call me. And I think it's important within, all the communities, not just the artistic community, just for people to know that, hey, you don't have to go through this alone. Sometimes it feels like you're the only one going through this, but there's a million people out there. There's like way more than a million people out there getting bullied.
I told him,
going through depression or
I was
addiction.
like, man, you know how amazing it would be if me, you, and every other huge and up and coming, whatever the fuck artist who struggles, that has millions of followers and is in the public eye, if we could all just get in a room on some AA shit, no security, no phones, no press, no nothing, and really say the shit that we go through and how we feel. But that shit will never happen. It'll never happen, dog. It'll never truly happen on a grand scale, because there's too much ego. There's too much ego, man. And we gotta be this, we gotta be that, especially when it comes to beef, or if somebody wants to act a certain way, like, yeah, I'll fuck you up, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. But it's just, and it all comes back down to insecurities, and it comes down to, needing to, I'm not gonna name no names. There's a lot of people I've met, a lot of artists, rappers that I've met, huge fucking rappers I fuck with, could be friends with, whatever, have come to me and been like, yo, I just wish I could be you. I can't tell you how many, and I will never say, because it could be perceived a certain way. People being like, I wish I could just be you. I wish I didn't have to put on this fucking persona and act like this and do this, and I'm like sucked in it now, and this and that. I just wish I could just be myself. And that's what I am. And that's what I always talk about. Is like, you could call me what you want, say what you want about me, but I'm myself, brother. Like, I can look in the mirror and go, man, I'm happy with the man that I am and the things that I've done. I'm really happy with who I am, and I didn't jeopardize myself. I didn't sell out. I didn't this. I didn't that. And you could have like 14-year-old fake ass fans like saying whatever because I'm on the radio. But what I'm talking about is like peace, love, and positivity has been the motto since day one. I put my everything into my music. I spread a positive message. I gave 2 fucks about the outside world to the degree that I possibly can as a human being with feelings, and I just keep it moving. So to know that some of these huge artists out there are actually suffering deep down because they feel that they are portrayed and are portraying themselves to the public as someone that they're completely not, based on fame and money and being scared that if they don't, it'll slow down, or if they really are who they are. I mean, there's athletes I know, people who have just talked to me about steroid use and like all types of shit. And I'm like, just let it go and tell everybody and let it be known. And like, I can't, because if I do, then I this and I that. And it's like, it's really sad that people are slaves to fame, to the other people's perception of them, and it's all based on fallacy and in a sense like just not being honest with themselves and the outside world. And it's just crazy, man. And the only time I ever find myself unhappy on social media or because of this or because of that or whatever the case may be is when people spread lies or say some shit that's like untrue. But then I just have to ask myself, why does it matter? I know I'm a good man. And there's a part deep down that's like, if I know I'm a good man, why does it matter if so-and-so thinks this about me because TMZ said this or they said that or blah, 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 even though it's like, but I'm not that. I want people to know I'm a good man. But it's like the people in your life know you're a good man, but even fuck them. You know you're a good man. And it's like, but what is this ego that you're trying to fill? You know what I'm saying? Goddamn sports cars.
It's the ego.
It's the ego. But yeah, it was this ego that you're trying to feel within yourself. And so it's like, man, that's why I love life. I think the meaning of life is to just live it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just to live it as you go. That's what I think. I think life, we're here to experience it. And just like with art, it can never be perfected. I think it could be mastered. I am a master of my craft as an MC and as a writer. But I'll never be able to perfect it, and that's what I'll chase. But since I've mastered this, now I'm doing novels, and I'm working on movies, and I want to learn how to master those crafts too. These are things that take decades and lifetimes, and I'm excited to focus on that instead of how to please others.
I love storytelling.
Yeah.
That's my favorite side of you, my favorite side of Cole's. My favorite MCs, when they flip stories, that's where I'm like, yo, this shit is the shit that I can listen to forever, because maybe it's the film side of me or whatnot. On the second verse of this, you flip it to money. Why was it important on this song to make that flip?
I don't know, it just fit. Sometimes shit just fits. You know what I mean? And like, it just fit. Like, cause even on Young Sinatra, I'm talking about things and, haters said I'd never make it and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And it kind of revolves around money in a way. And, that flex talk. And then I was like, well, let's still educate and use my power to then tell a story. And it was really fun, to be this, to be currency, to be money, to be a dollar bill. Blood stains my face when drug deals go wrong. I'm given to the greatest athletes when they go long. Like, nobody would love me if I weren't me, no matter what year in I'm currency. Like, I love that shit.
Yeah,
it's so fun. And, I just wanted to just throw it in there. And in doing it and switching up the beat, it helped me make this Young Sinatra so much more unique than all of the previous ones, which were it was just simply braggadocio rap as a 20-something-year-old young kid who didn't really know, hasn't experienced a lot of shit yet, So, and that's one thing that I love about all the music that I've been making post Under Pressure. And that's why, to me, Everybody is one of my favorite albums I've ever created, because of the shit that I'm talking about from Most Definitely, and all these things about positivity and pushing things forward and using my voice and telling a story for something greater than just vain, oh, this is hard, dog, this is hard. No, fuck that shit. This hard though. Like, you know what I mean? So it was fun to be able to kind of mix the two of like, this shit hard with like some real shit. Yeah. And it's still very entertaining with the subject of money.
When I heard it, it made me think about the Nas track where he's talking about the bullet.
I gave you power.
I gave you
a
power.
Gun. He's like, they treat me like a gun.
Yeah.
I'm curious because I haven't asked anybody this. When did you know I was talking about money? Like first listen, second listen, halfway through?
Oh no, first listen for sure. I think maybe like second or third line. I was like, oh, he just flipped this. I was like, oh shit, he's talking about money.
Yeah, that's dope.
It wasn't like the common one where it's like, okay, he's talking about
hip-hop?
relationship. Hip hop. Where it's like he's talking about relationship, and then it's like it's towards the end. You're like, oh shit, he's talking about hip hop. Like,
like Nicki. It wasn't like Nicki.
It wasn't like Nicki either. Where Nicki is kind of like, yo,
you think
oh
it's
shit, he's
a
talking about
woman the whole
nicotine.
time.
You think he's talking about? I think this one you kind of sprinkled it throughout.
Definitely.
The verse where it's like, oh, currency or like certain things where it's like you could tell.
It's obvious.
It's obvious you're talking about
Put
money.
Me in check.
But even then, it's just kind of like the visuals that you have in each line. Like if you go along the wide receiver, like I was just like, yo, he snapped on this.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No, for sure. Like that's why Under Pressure is my favorite.
Yeah.
Just because like Under Pressure, you know, is the way you tell stories. I mean, I like the braggadocio shit as much as everybody else. But
I know, but it's all about what's unique to our personal experience when listening to music.
Yep.
And that's fine. There's no problem with that.
Yeah.
I think the only time I ever have issues is when people are so fucking ignorant. They're like, oh, this is by far his best shit that he's ever done, period. That's the way. He will never be able to top this. He will never be able to top his first mixtape ever, but I'm still here. It's been 10 years. Papa Bless. Do you know what that's from? H3 Productions. Ethan Klein. He's just fucking hilarious, dude. Him and his wife, Hila. Anyway. Papa Bless.
That's going to be a meme.
Yeah, definitely.
Street Dreams.
Yes. This is my shit. I love this.